Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Socially Desi Show, a chat show where we bring you the best in entrepreneurship, mental health, and motivation. And today we are diving into the space of social media. How social are Desi people and how we can take charge of our lives on social media. Every 12 seconds, a new person joins social media. And if you have watched the Netflix movie, The Social Dilemma, you probably know where we are heading into. The answer that we want for our questions today is how can we be more productive, mindful, and make social media an authentic expression of ourselves? वैसे आप सब सोच रहे होंगे कि अनुराग कहाँ गया? जी आज मैं अनुराग के साथ co-host हूँ. मेरा नाम है निधि and I'm so happy to be co-hosting the show with Anurag today. Thank you Anurag for this opportunity.
Yay! Welcome Nidhi, welcome. That was a lovely introduction for the Socially Desi show. मुझे थोड़े बहुत changes करने पड़ेंगे अपने show के intro में लगता है. This was really interesting.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
No, I really loved it. So thank you so much, Nidhi. To our audience, Nidhi, who may have not watched the first part, so can you just quickly recap about what happened in the first episode, and people then can maybe go and check that out first, and then come back to this episode.
Absolutely. So, in our previous episode, which was on my podcast, which is called Unstoppable by Nidhi, I was curious how social media impacts our daily lives, our mental health. And Anurag and I had a very honest and open discussion about this. You can go and check out that episode. And obviously, Anurag has a special expert today who he will be sharing more about. Uh, so my podcast Unstoppable by Nidhi, I call it an intelligent podcast for the modern nari, जहां पर हम उन सब बातों पे बात करते हैं जिनसे हमको फर्क पड़ता है. तो please go and check it out.
Perfect. So, guys, definitely check the first episode out. We spoke a lot about what social media, does to us in our daily lives, how it has impacted me as an individual, how it has impacted Nidhi as an individual, her personal life, her professional life. So, we have spoken a lot in detail, and she also got a couple of more guests on the episode apart from me who spoke about their own experiences. So, first, check that out, and then come back to this episode. The links are in the show notes below. And so, moving along, today we have a guest who needs no introduction on my podcast, especially. We have Devyani Jain. She has already been twice on the episode on our podcast before. Devyani is a counseling psychologist and she has been doing it for the last 6, 7 years. So, Devyani, welcome back to the Socially Desi show.
Thank you so much, Anurag, for having me back again. And hi, Nidhi.
Hi there.
How are
Thank you so
you?
much for being here. I'm good. Thank you.
So, Devyani, as you know, that this episode is all about social media and how social media impacts us, right? So, before we, speak about your professional view, why don't you tell us how social media impacts you on a daily basis?
So, when we're talking about social media, see, there's, for me especially, sometimes it happens with me as well. Like, I'm scrolling mindlessly and
Hmm.
I'm just scrolling way past midnight and just using my time for watching photos or videos of people whom I don't even know. And slowly I get affected by it as well. Like, why am I now not doing this? Why am I sitting here? I should have done this long ago, and many such things which might happen with you people as well.
Yeah, so true. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
how long do you generally use social media on a daily basis? Because you know why I ask you this question is on Nidhi's podcast episode, I checked my social media usage and it was round about 7 to 8 hours every day, and which was really
Okay.
alarming for me. What about you? How long do you use social media?
So I have a timer set for myself, like for Instagram. I'm not there
Hmm.
on Facebook, so yeah, Facebook is not there. Like, but Instagram, I have a timer set for 2 hours on a
Okay.
daily basis, which is too much. Which is also too
Hmm.
much. I shouldn't just scroll and scroll and scroll for 2 hours, which is not. It is not healthy at all.
Hmm.
So for Instagram, it's 2 hours, and then LinkedIn, and then WhatsApp also comes to play. So in all, I would say 6 hours yeah, max 6 hours. So that is alarming for me as well. And then I have tried to limit it, like overall, I've tried to limit it to 2 hours. It was just for 10 days, and I couldn't do it because of work and everything.
Hmm.
So this is for me.
And Devyani, since you mentioned that even for you, the aspect of being glued to social media can sometimes be a problem, I would like to understand कि often we see on some blogs, on health blogs especially, कि dopamine और brain science के बीच में और social media के usage के बीच में links बनाए जाते हैं, तो उसके बारे में आप क्या बताना चाहेंगी?
I would like to say that when we get a social media notification, okay, जैसे अपने में कभी WhatsApp notification आ गया और Snapchat और Instagram or whatever, our brain sends a chemical messenger called dopamine along a reward pathway which makes you feel good. So what happens is when we get this notifications and everything, there's a strong chemical reaction in our brain, so which makes us feel ki oh my god, let's check it, it might be something good and everything. And dopamine is one such thing which is associated with you can add like food, exercise, love, gambling, drugs, and a new, not new, but a widely used term, social media. So these are all added with dopamine. And what happens is like from my perspective, like when we get a like suppose I if I post a picture and I get positive and positive social feedback, it stimulates the brain to release dopamine, like, and which perpetuates social media habits. Like if I get good feedback, I'll go back to it again. Okay, I'll check the picture again, I'll check the comments again, I'll check whoever liked my picture and who hasn't liked it. But what if I get a negative feedback? It might lead me to being sulky all day, like people didn't like my picture or didn't post on it, didn't sorry, comment on it. So it might disturb me mentally.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that comes to play.
Absolutely. So you make a link between how our brain is somehow linked or somehow so susceptible to the notifications that we get क्योंकि हमारे brain में the reward center gets triggered when we get a notification on the phone, especially if it's a positive form of encouragement or maybe a like.
Yes,
लेकिन
exactly.
apart from the negative habit where we get stuck in the social media circle, what are the positive aspects that you might have experienced yourself, or maybe your clients' experience, or overall in the general population that you usually see?
See, positive effects. There's Google, the search engine, which we all know. Like even for small things, we just go and Google. So I would say, but yes, there are benefits, but there are disadvantages as well. Benefits उस sense में कि if you are stuck somewhere, suppose if I need to make a presentation, and if I go to Google and just type out my topic and just write PPT, so I'll get hundreds and hundreds of PPTs over there. So that is
Absolutely.
one benefit which I can consider. And accordingly, for studies, for knowing something more about maybe animals, plants, or whatever, like anything under the sun, you can say. So everything is there on Google. So you can just go type it out and learn from it. But if we are using it in a right way, अगर वही चीज को अपन बस just to जैसे यूट्यूब पे चले गए एंड वी आर जस्ट वाचिंग सम टाइम पास वीडियोस लाइक कोई फनी वीडियोस
Mhm.
देख लिया या फनी वीडियोस आर आल्सो फाइन बट देन टू एन एक्सटेंट अगर आप 1 1 2 2 hours you are just spending on watching those kind of videos, what's the purpose? Like if you are not into that field, how is it helping you? So if you are doing something, if you want to learn something, going in the right track will definitely help you.
Right. And as you rightly mentioned, that though it has the positive aspects that we can learn, it's a source of information, increasing knowledge, and especially when we see, as I am a parent, we see that our children are even more used to having a device in their hand or device around them. Because you have experience of working with teens, could you please tell me what has your experience been when parents come to you or even teens come to you? Do they have problems around social media that they come to you with?
Yes, exactly, Nidhi. Thanks for addressing the problem. So, what happens is sometimes, like even for you, when you're going through your Facebook stories or Instagram stories or Twitter stories or whatsoever, so you sometimes come across stories about cyberbullying or suicides that students or kids which are taking place and everything. So, that might catch your attention, and it might lead you to forbid your child to use social media. Like you might say that refrain from it, or why are you using it? There's no good type of information or whatsoever. So this especially disturbs the parents, and they might forbid their child ki don't use it, and this is not beneficial and things like that. But I would say that yes, this problem is, uh, it has happened quite a lot, and people are struggling with it. So parents are do talk about it, like when they meet, and suppose if they come to me as well. So there was this parent that she continuously told me that he or she, the child, like she had two kids. So she was telling me that one kid, he stays entirely on the phone. Like even if he needs to do something or eat something, he'll Google about it. So
Hmm.
that was very alarming for the parent. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
so this is
And
the
how do you
case. Like
advise these parents who come to you with such a case? What is the strategies or what are the practices that you share with them that would help them overcome the obstacle of being addicted to their devices?
See, firstly, I would say that like I always tell them, ki, educate your child, like not to share too much information about themselves on social media. Like Instagram, pe we see that even if you are having a tea, so they'll just click a picture and post it, like drinking tea with this. So every moment, information is there on their social media and everything. So we must educate them, share information, but not that too much. So
Hmm.
it might not lead to hampering their privacy or any such kind of thing. And then there is like you will have to set limits. Like you need to educate them how to take break from time to time, like maybe just plan out a family vacation, like just a picnic, maybe at your lawn or in the nearby park, according to your convenience. That depends totally on you, but you must teach them how to take break from time to time. So
Yeah.
these two, and then again, like you have to spend as much time as you can with your kids. Like ask them questions, like if they're following someone, if you don't like that particular person, or if you like also, just ask them why are you following him or her. Like, do you see them as your role model? What is the concept behind it? Like suppose teach them to follow BBC news, and then Discovery and all these things, which provide some valuable information at least. And also there's one thing, like if you can, then please do follow your child on social media. Like do
Yeah.
not question them always, but if you see them making a wrong move, you can just try and make them understand. Like
Yeah.
you could have done this in this way, not particularly uh, just pointing at them that you have committed a mistake, but instead trying to make them understand.
Perfect. Yeah.
This, if you guys remember, back in 2017, there was this app called Saraha app,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, it was there.
Which was a big craze amongst everyone on Instagram, and everyone wanted anonymous people to, just say something about them on that particular app. It started off on a very positive note that people started sharing compliments. They started proposing to their crushes and all on social media, but then it turned out to be a very ugly it took a very ugly turn where people started harassing people. They started bashing people. They started body shaming people on that particular app. There were so many negative things that happened on the app, and because of which a lot of teenagers and especially women were targeted in this app, and it impacted their mental health to such an extent that a lot of people actually urged this app to get banned, and slowly and steadily people got out of it because it had turned uh, in a very ugly, like the environment just became toxic in that particular app. Because like I can just write anything about you on that app and nobody will come to know that it's me who wrote that about you.
Yeah,
And you as a person, right, you as a person, you would be thinking, oh, I got a new message, must be something nice. And you open it and you see that I'm just bashing you, or just typing anything about you. I'm just being vulgar. And that impacts your mental health in a big way. Right.
yeah.
So this is also what I see what happens whenever there's a new social media app, or if there's a new trend which is happening. I see a lot of teenagers, a lot of young adults just flocking towards that trend without even considering what could happen later on. So, what,
Absolutely.
Devyani, in your experience, in your expertise, what sort of things should these young adults or teenagers do when they, find themselves in a situation where they are just, attracted to a new social media app or a new experiment which is going on, or maybe a new, trend which is just going on in social media?
We have to be mindful about it. Like, we should know what is good for us and what is bad for us. Even if you are trying the app or trying any new such trends, which is fine, but making it your habit or considering it a thing which is cool to do or any such kind of thing is not healthy for ourselves. So basically, like, just ask a few people around you, maybe your parents or someone whom you consider your closest, like, what is this about? They would know, and even if they don't know, they would look into it, and they would require acquire some knowledge about it, and then they'll inform you. See, for every small thing, Google is not the solution. Like, we have forgotten that there are actual human beings whom we can talk to about our
Hmm.
problems. It's not always like कि any every time कुछ भी हुआ just किसी से भी बात नहीं करनी.
Yeah.
The, I have seen this habit like a lot, especially
Hmm.
with younger generation. So there's this thing, कुछ भी हुआ, they won't talk to other people. They'll just stay in their room. अपना कुछ भी कर लिया. But this is not the solution.
Yeah. To summarize what Devyani has been talking about, because I found it especially useful for a parent. First thing she said is to educate your child ki what are the consequences or what are the apps meant for. So how much can you share and how much is not good to share. That is first thing. Educate and make your child aware of what an app means to them. Second is to connect with your child, not just by speaking to them and discussing with them what their problems are on a daily basis, but also follow them on social media so that it's not to really nag them or not to make them conscious of what they are of their expression, but to make sure that they are on the right track. And if there's something happening, you can intervene and help them out. And the third aspect that Devyani highlighted is take a break, whether it's taking a break by taking a walk outside or going into the nature or taking a holiday. It all is taking time away from social media and being outdoors, outside in the nature, and seeing real people and real things that are outside and connecting with people on a real basis. These were the points that Devani you mentioned for parents who can help their children. But for us who are say professionals and would like to be on social media and somehow get carried away, Are there any other specific tips that you would like to give us?
Actually, yes, I have a few interesting tips which anyone can follow. Like, even if they're addicted to social media, or even if they would like to reduce the use of social media. Like, when suppose in the morning when we get up and everything, we are always tempted to look, like, we just search for our phones, and then we see the time and see if there's anyone who has pinged us, or any such kind of information which we have, like, while we were sleeping, and something might have gone off and everything. So when you have this temptation to check your phone, don't resist, but delay. Like, do something for the next 15 minutes. Like, I give you an example. Like, when we wake up, so just go to the washroom and brush your teeth and make sure you get freshen up and everything, and then check your phone. So you might have passed 15 to 20 minutes, and it is always beneficial for us and our mind that we just don't jump into our phones right after the moment we are awakened. So this is one. And there's another, like, create physical distance from your phone. Like, suppose if you're charging your phone, don't just charge and sit there and watch something or talk to someone. Uh, there should be some physical distance between you and your phone, so that it is not easy for you to reach out to it every time. Like, it happens out of habit as well. So always create physical distance between you and your phone. And also, this is very useful, even I do it. uh, Create speed bumps for logging in. So suppose you're using Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and whatsoever other social media apps. So always remember to log out. If you have logged out, so the next day when you are going on it again, you will have to type your passwords. Okay, so it will create a distance, like every time you wouldn't like to do it. So if, by doing so, you will spend less time on social media.
Yeah.
And then, like, uh, you should set a time limit. Like, for yourself, you should be true to yourself. Ki if you are saying that you're going to use Instagram just for an hour today, so be honest and just use it for an hour. Whether you have done something or not done something doesn't matter. If you have set a limit, stick to it. And there's another thing, turning off your notifications, which is of great help. Like, this is the uh, one go-to solution. Just turn off your notification. Even if you have work on WhatsApp, just open it up, see whether someone from work has texted you or not. Because otherwise, what happens is, since the beginning of the day, we receive no, like, some forwarded messages or videos on various other groups. So that is distracting. Like, koi notification aaya, we just go and open it up. So like, it's of no use. When you're working, what is the use of checking them out? So this is one helpful trick, like turning off your notifications.
All your tips resonate with me so much, Devyani, because the I think the bottom line is that create a friction between what you want to do on your phone and how you use your phone. So the flip side of it also works. So if you want to maintain or start a good habit, make it frictionless, make it the easiest to start with. So if you want to start jogging, put your shoes and put your clothes out in the night before so that you can do that. And whereas if you want to do the other way around, you want to stop using social media, make it more, add more friction or add more layers to it. That's what Devyani is trying to say. Anurag, anything from your side?
I completely agree with what Devyani has said so far. It's really important that we create these barriers, right? And like we spoke on the first part of the episode as well, where I told about the Pomodoro technique that I use to just make sure that I'm working on a particular task and being focused on that particular task. That is a kind of a barrier which I'm trying to create between me and social media. So any sort of apps or any sort of technique that you guys, whosoever is listening to us right now, if you guys can create a barrier, a distance between, a speed breaker, speed block between you and social media, just do that. It can be like Devyani said, just logging out from your social media every evening, or it can be downloading an app, or it can be anything else. But make sure that you do these things so that somewhere down the line, subconsciously, you will start to think about being focused and staying away from social media rather than having that FOMO syndrome and just going on social media and scrolling through mindlessly, I guess. So that is really important. So these tips are really beneficial, and I hope that everyone listening out there would definitely, especially the socially desi audience, should definitely do this.
Absolutely, I completely agree. Devyani, any parting thoughts that you have that you would like to share from your experience as a counselor, which would be useful for the listeners?
But so I would end up by saying that social media, I would say, is merely a platform. It's neither good nor bad, and talking openly about it, like with people whom we meet or children for that matter, like what is the use of social media, like how they feel, what they have gained from it. It can start a good communication, like it can build up a good talk with your child and with others, so we can get to learn also what they are learning, and we can get to know the pros and cons from it. So yes, thank you so much, guys, Anurag and Nidhi, for having me on the show today.
Thank you so much, Devyani, for your time. Really appreciate it. I hope parents out there who are listening to this right now will make use of the tips that you shared. And even the tips for adults are very useful, simple, but very practical. And even the Pomodoro technique of timing yourself for 25 or 50 minutes, that's one simple way to enhance your productivity and make sure that you keep distractions away. So do give it a try before rejecting them.
So true. And guys, you guys can go and check out Devyani Jain on social media on Instagram. Her handle is the positive pattern. We'll put the links in the show notes below as well, and also the Unstoppable podcast by Nidhi. Her episode and her podcast links will also be in the show notes below. So go subscribe to Nidhi because she speaks a lot of good information on her podcast, and it's really important for us to take that perspective in mind as well. And Nidhi, thank you so much for hosting today's episode. And
My
Devyani,
pleasure. I totally loved it.
thank you so much, Devyani, for being on the show again. And I'll meet you soon on the Socially Desi show.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Nidhi.
So that wraps it up for today, folks. If you liked the episode, give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and let's go viral. Remember, our weekly podcast features episodes on personal growth, mental health, relationships, business and entrepreneurship, and health and fitness. We would love to have Nidhi and Devyani on our show again in the future to talk more about social media and mental health. So, if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button and go check out our website at sociallydesi.com. And as always, before I sign off, remember, life is black and white and everything in between.